the news, Boko Haram leader Bakaura denies report of his death by Nigerian army. Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff links build-up of the 2027 elections to increase in killings. Benue State Assembly suspends 6 members for attempting to impeach Speaker. It's a pleasure to have you join us now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Victoria Konde. Now, despite reports alleging that the Boko Haram commander Ibrahim Bakaura Doro was killed in recent military operations in Difa region, he has denied the claims, insisting he is alive. The Nigerian Armed Forces had announced on Friday that Bakaura was among several insurgent leaders eliminated in precision airstrikes on August 15 in Korongo and Shilawa. The military said the strikes destroyed Boko Haram bases, neutralized dozens of fighters, and killed high-ranking commanders, including Bakaura. However, security sources intercepted a communication in which Bakaura dismissed reports of his death. He reportedly told his commanders that although the airstrikes occurred, he was not among those killed. Still on security, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has linked the recent surge in killings across the country to the build-up to the 2027 general election. The country has in recent times witnessed renewed terror attacks in the northeast, and attacks by bandits in the northwest, Benue and Plateau states continue to be epicenters of killings. Speaking during a televised interview, Musa said the rising wave of insecurity compared to last year could not be divorced from political activities ahead of the polls. According to him, some politicians are deliberately fueling violence to discredit the government's security record and campaign on the back of chaos. An outrage has continued to trail the assault of a female corps member and her colleagues by operatives under the Anambra State security outfit, Operation Udogachi. The incident, which occurred on July 23 in Oba Idemili South local government area, has sparked condemnation across social and traditional media. A viral video shows armed operatives storming a corps member's lodge and brutalizing 24-year-old Jennifer Edeme-Loho. Speaking to TV360 Nigeria, Anambra State Commissioner for Information Law Mefo describes the operatives' conduct as unacceptable. He clarifies, however, that the attack was carried out by Agune Chamber, a subset of Operation Udogachi, and cautioned against judging the entire security outfit by the misconduct of a few members.
It's unacceptable, it's unfortunate, it is despicable, it is clearly outside what we call a code of conduct of the Anambra security outfit. Operation Udogachi and Agune Chamber. That is not what they represent, not their modus operandi. It is still entirely a way out of line and unacceptable to this. And that is reflected, on in the responses that we have shown so far. Operation Udogachi and Agune Chamber. Both they are made up of 1,000, and the people that did this operation, they were just about 8. So you cannot take the action of 8 members of a 2,000-man group to determine the character of the group, and it is not prevalent. Like I said, it is one-off. If it is prevalent, stories like this will be coming from Anambra every week, but you haven't had such since. And this one in question also, it happened this August. It happened in July. Somehow the video didn't come out until a few days ago. And it was all in an effort in respecting the girl's wish and that of her parents. Because the government actually wanted to press on with the charge. When we got wind of what had happened, the first thing the government did was to suspend the operatives that were involved in this, and they were promptly arrested and interrogated.
And the Benue State House of Assembly has slammed 3-month suspension on 4 lawmakers allegedly initiating impeachment moves against the Speaker of the House, Ayesen Doja. The member representing Makurdi North, Alfred Beja, his Kain State constituency counterpart Tena Shimoa, Cyril Ekong of Obi State constituency, and James Umoru representing Upper State constituency. After the suspension, the House also readjusted its leadership to include Kennedy Angbo as the new Deputy Majority Leader. Douglas Kia emerged the position of Deputy Chief Whip, while Elias Audu got the position of new spokesperson to the House. Meanwhile, the House on Friday commenced the screening of 5 commissioner nominees within the party. And the Zamfara State Governor, Dauda Lawal, will host fellow governors of the People's Democratic Party in Gusau on Saturday, August 23, 2025, for a strategic meeting aimed at shaping the party's direction ahead of its international convention. The governors are expected to arrive in Gusau on Friday evening in preparation for the closed-door session scheduled for Saturday. In a statement by the spokesperson to the Zamfara State Governor, Suleiman Idris, the meeting is described as a pivotal gathering to deliberate on key political strategies and foster unity within the party. The statement further noted that the meeting will provide an opportunity for party leaders to address pressing political issues, strengthen internal cohesion, and collaborate on developmental initiatives across their respective states. Now, as part of efforts to strengthen infrastructure in Nigeria's tertiary institution, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has commissioned a newly built 500-seater multi-purpose auditorium at the Lagos State University Ekpe campus. The edifice, donated by former Secretary to the State Government and Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Olatunji Bello, was constructed in lieu of his 60th birthday celebration. TV360's Joy Uchejim completes this report.
At the Faculty of Environmental Sciences, Lagos State University, the academic community gathered to witness the commissioning of the Olatunji Bello Auditorium, a 500-seater facility gifted as a symbol of knowledge and service. The donor, a former commissioner, journalist, and administrator, described the project as a seed sown to strengthen education and intellectual development in the state. In his remarks, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commended Bello's sacrifice and vision, describing the structure as a beacon of knowledge and a reflection of his administration's Themes Plus agenda. Also present was the Minister of State for Education, Tunji Alausa, who applauded both the donor and the LASU leadership for prioritizing development in the nation's tertiary sector.
As a government, we have consistently emphasized education is a critical pillar of our development agenda. Under the education and technology component of our Themes Plus agenda, we remain resolute in our commitment to providing world-class infrastructure and opportunities that will provide globally competitive graduates and students that will continue to make Lagos the center of excellence.
This auditorium will indeed remain a lasting legacy of your visionary leadership and generosity, which will undoubtedly inspire others to give back to the society and contribute meaningfully to the development of education and youth empowerment in our great nation.
In an emotional address, Olatunji Bello recounted the story behind the project, a vision birthed in 2021 through contributions from friends and associates, sustained despite financial hurdles, and completed with personal sacrifices, including the sale of his property.
Sincerely hope that this auditorium will inspire you to double your zeal, to excel in your academic pursuit, and become the next Ayodele Awujobi, Professor Wole Soyinka, Professor Chike Obi, Isa Abubakar, and Professor Oluwasomi Olikoye Ransome Kuti, and Ojetunji Aboyade of this, among other academic giants in our history.
Also speaking, LASU Vice-Chancellor Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello, wife of the donor, expressed gratitude, noting that the facility will help bridge infrastructural gaps while supporting academic growth on the Ekpe campus.
It reinforces the fundamental truth that when we invest in education, we invest in tomorrow's leaders. Honorable Tunji Bello has therefore, through word and deed, inscribed his name in the permanent record of LASU's growth story. For a campus housing the Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, and School of Agriculture, the auditorium marks a significant milestone towards achieving Goal 3 of our administration. That is making infrastructural facilities available and accessible for seamless academic and administrative operations.
As a gesture of appreciation, representatives of the student body presented commemorative frames to Governor Sanwo-Olu and the donor, Tunji Bello. Stakeholders at the event say the new facility underscores the power of vision, sacrifice, and public-private partnership in education. With the commissioning of the Olatunji Bello Auditorium, Lagos State University strengthened its claim as a center of excellence equipped to produce globally competitive graduates. Joy Uchejim, TV360, Lagos.
Still in Lagos, the state government has graduated 253 micro, small and medium enterprises from its Export Readiness Program, marking the official closing ceremony of the 6 weeks intensive training initiative designed to transform local businesses into globally competitive exporters. The initiative, executed in partnership with Afrexim Bank and Impact Her, was launched to equip Lagos-based SMEs with the technical skills, tools and knowledge required to scale beyond domestic markets and harness opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area. TV360's correspondent Comfort Samuel has more in this report.
The 6 weeks program, which ran from July 2nd to August 22, 2025, comprised 4 weeks of intensive training and 2 weeks of mentorship. During this period, participants received guidance on refining strategies and export plans. Out of the 253 participants, 20 outstanding SMEs have been selected to represent Lagos State at the upcoming Intra-African Trade Fair in Algeria this September. The top performance will be granted access to export finance linkages, promotional platforms, and advisory support. Speaking at the graduation ceremony in Lagos on Friday, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Special Advisor to the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, describes LASEB as a bold step towards repositioning Lagos as a hub of intra-African trade and economic diversification.
We do not gather merely to close a training program. We gather to open a new chapter in the story of Lagos enterprise, to celebrate resilience, to acknowledge courage, and to commission a new generation of exporters who will carry the banner of Lagos into Africa and the world.
While commending the Lagos State government for its vision and commitment to SMEs empowerment, Director of SME Development at Afrexim Bank urges participants to leverage the opportunity to grow beyond SMEs into larger manufacturing companies and employers of labor.
This is the ultimate market access opportunity because the Intra-Africa Trade Fair convenes the whole continent as a marketplace in one place at one time. So participants will get the opportunity to commingle with SMEs from across the continent, but also to plug themselves into cross-continental value chains.
On her part, the Lagos State Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment says LASEB has set a new benchmark for SME development in Nigeria.
The whole essence of this really is to take all these selected MSMEs. Initially, we've selected 20 that we're going to be taking to Algiers at the Intra-Africa Trade Fair. It's taking place in Algiers in September. And in addition with the other ones that we're talking to and we have trained, is for us really to ensure that they're part of now the ecosystem.
Other stakeholders affirmed that LASEP represents a turning point in Lagos State's journey towards becoming an export-driven economy.
Today's event really marks a historic moment where we're changing the narrative and moving forward to creating a global economy, both in Georgia and Lagos and across the state, the continent.
We believe that it's important to have these personal relationships, one-on-one relationships. That's where business begins. You have to have a personal relationship before you can start talking about business.
Beneficiaries assured they will leverage their new skills to expand operations, attract foreign exchange and create employment opportunity across the states.
We've been networking quite substantially within ourselves and then getting access to organizations that are positioned to sort of assist us in ensuring that we are producing the best product that we can within our ecosystems.
Today it's really amazing and surprising that I made that cut, because everyone on that training was qualified, listening, going through trainings day after day, week after week, and listening to my other participants in that program. I realized that everyone had their game on and we're doing great things within the SME space.
With its first cohort now graduated, the Lagos State Export Readiness Program has not only equipped SMEs with vital knowledge but has also positioned 20 of them as Lagos export ambassadors on the continental stage, further cementing the state's ambition of building a truly export-driven economy. Comfort Samuel, TV360 News, Lagos.
The Lagos State government has engaged members of the civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations on strategic future plans to bridge the communication gap between citizens and government. At the engagement workshop organized by the Office of the Political, Legislative and Civic Engagement, OPLCE, held in Lagos, the participants were presented with the proposed Lagos State 2025-2027 Strategic and Communication Strategy document for them to criticize, make recommendations and advise the state government. The convener and permanent secretary OPLCE, Shalabo Mishashere, told the participants that through the document, the state aims to enhance the inclusion of citizens in governance and foster equity and inclusivity, especially youth, women and people with disabilities. Deborah Adeniro of the Committee for Development of Human Rights, CDHR, also described the engagement as what he calls a good one.
We expect them to actually drive the implementation of the strategic documents with us and also to critique as we go along. We've realized that we cannot do or achieve our objectives without them, and neither can we ensure that the impact objective of the office is achieved if we don't work with the CSOs and the residents and the private sector, and that's what we're trying to achieve here today. Well, the Lagosians have been asking that they want to engage better with the government, they want to be involved in governance, they want to be involved in what's happening in their communities, they want their communities to be taken care of, and with these documents we can actually achieve that. So the Lagosians will have to, we know that government cares, and they also achieve, we want to reduce the public, the gap in the public trust and the communications gap.
What is happening today is a reinforcement of all of the energies that has been put into getting citizens together. I was just discussing with Mr. Adepoju now and Laide that the Citizen Gate was maybe a kind of plagiarization from a program of CACOL, which we call Seagate. That is CACOL's Good Governance, Accountability and Transparency Education. Going to different sections of the society to educate them on how to relate with government, how to report government, issues to government, and how to take feedback, and so on.
I think it's quite commendable. I have a few remarks that I was going to make, but of course, when we go back inside, we'll engage it a little more. But so far, so good. Communication strategy, very important that the citizens are aware of exactly what the government is doing, and I think this is a step in the right direction. If we can really make it citizens engagement, that the citizens are very much aware of this, I believe it will be a very, very good step in the right direction.
Right now, we'll go on a short break, but still to come on News Now, United Nations declares full-blown famine in Gaza. Details of this story right after this break. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. Boko Haram commander Ibrahim Bakora Doro has denied claims by the Nigerian government that he was killed during the recent military operations in the Difa region. The Nigerian Armed Forces had announced on Friday that Bakora was among several insurgent leaders eliminated in precision airstrikes on August 15 in Shilawa. We also informed you that the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has linked the recent surge in killings across the country to the build-up of the 2027 general elections. He said insecurity has worsened with renewed terror attacks in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, and persistent killings in Benue and Plateau states, alleging that some politicians are deliberately fueling violence to discredit the government's security record. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on X, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we are at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Joy Uchejim is on standby. Joy, what's the latest?
Thank you, Victoria. News now, the Federation Account Allocation Committee has shared a total of 2.001 trillion naira among the 3 tiers of government, that's the federal, state and local councils, for July 2025. The allocation made during FACT's August meeting in Abuja comprised 1.283 trillion naira statutory revenue, 640.61 billion naira from value-added tax, 37.6 billion naira from the electronic money transfer levy, and 39.7 billion naira from exchange difference. A communique from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation revealed that gross statutory revenue for July stood at 3.07 trillion naira, a decline of 415.1 billion naira compared to June's 3.49 trillion naira. The decline underscores a drop in federally collected revenue within the period under review. And still on business, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has assured residents that the mid-level agro-food hub under construction in Songotedo, Eshosa local government area will be completed and inaugurated by 2026. The governor gave the assurance via his official X account following an inspection tour of the facility, which he said is already over 90% complete, with finishing works currently ongoing. According to Governor Sanwo-Olu, the 23,000 square meter facility will feature storage facilities, trading floors and parking spaces, all designed to enhance food accessibility for residents within the corridor.
And the plan, like we did mention, if you remember my speech then, is that the logistics hub, which we've been to one time ago, is getting also nearing completion on phase 1, will be the ones that will now feed into the middle level market. So you can imagine fresh, food items. I mean, fresh, vegetables and fresh meat and everything coming in here. This entire axis of Ajah, Songotedo, up onto Lekki phase 1, phase 2, they all can come in here, and the ambience you've seen can take all of that in. So it's part of the food security solution of Lagos that we talked about, and these are the investments that we're making. By this time next year, by the grace of God, you will see that all of them will begin to tie in. So when we launched the Produce for Lagos, is because we wanted to do it ahead. Let's do some heavy lifting ahead before the infrastructure get ready. Because for people to go to the market, and as farmers, it will take them 4 or 5 months before they begin to have the final production ready. So once they are beginning to get ready by the end of the year, these are the kind of places that they will come into from the logistics of.
We'll go on a short break now and return with updates from the stock market. Welcome back. The Nigerian Stock Exchange closed the week on a positive note, climbing 0.48% and giving investors something to smile about heading into the weekend. Now, leading the pack was Better Glass Company, which saw its share price surge by a full 10%, finishing at 449 naira 35 kobo, followed by UPDC. Now, by the end of Friday's session, a total of 767.7 million shares had exchanged hands in 25,897 deals with a combined market value of just over 25.2 billion naira. Now, meanwhile, on the global front, stock markets continue their winning streak. All of our Trax global indices closed at record highs on Friday, marking 4 straight days of gains for the UK FTSE, fueled by optimism after US Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell hinted at a possible interest rate cut in the near future. Now, in the currency space, the Naira saw a slight dip in the parallel market. It's trading at 1,550 Naira to the US dollar, 2,105 Naira to the British pound, and 1,795 Naira to the euro. And that's your business and stock market updates. Back to you, Victoria, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy, for that update. Now, switching to the global scene. The United Nations on Friday officially declared a famine in Gaza, marking the first such designation in the Middle East, with warnings that 500,000 people face catastrophic hunger. The United Nations Emergency Relief Coordinator Tom Fletcher described the situation as the Gaza famine, blaming Israel for what he called the systematic obstruction of humanitarian aid. The declaration comes amid ongoing conflict and devastation in the Palestinian territory, where access to food and essential supplies has been severely restricted. And finally, on sports, the Director General of Lagos State Sports Commission, Lekan Fatodu, has reiterated the state's preparedness to host the 10th edition of the National Youth Games in 2026. Lagos formally submitted its bid earlier this year, followed by a 2-day joint inspection of key sports facilities by officials of the State and National Sports Commission. Fatodu noted that Lagos' track record in hosting major tournaments position is to deliver a memorable and historic edition of the Games. And that wraps up our news bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Victoria Akonde. See you next time.